the thing about today, we got a couple issues at wide out. Had Thigpen, I know, went out with like a hamstring. We've had Lewis with a hamstring, and Palmer had a groin. So those two were real limited today. But other than that, it was a good day. I thought Castle, as you guys saw, he had a nice day on field 2, if you will. The rookie made his first interception today, so Darby had a pick. But there's some good things. Guys are working hard. We got a lot of things in, and we're able to move around on defense. We're not just standing there. We're stimming our fronts all the time, so that kind of makes it difficult. But that's what happens in the when they snap the thing for real. So it's good. We get a lot of shifts, all that type of stuff, motions from the offense. And I think that's all challenging. So it's challenging to the defense, challenging to the offense. And I think it makes, for almost like real football out there. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Sean McCoy, what's his status?
He's got a little thing like in his neck or something like that, but it's not serious. But it's one of those things where we don't need him out there. I don't even think he even had a helmet. He might have had a helmet out there, but not sure.
So the quarterback competition has officially begun today. Yesterday with the full team defense, you're looking at guys. Right?
Yeah, but I think in the whole process, up until this phase 1, phase 2, all that stuff, you look into it. But at the end of the day, the real competition is going to start in training camp. Right now, you're not going to make a decision on who your starting quarterback is in the OTAs. Now, you may have an idea who it may end up being, but this is just kind of leading up, getting guys ready, for training camp.
There's a notion out there that in some ways Taylor is the big hope because he's the unknown. He could really surprise you, where the other guys, you kind of know what you're getting. What do you think of that idea?
Well, I think, I can get that because he is an unknown. We've never played a whole lot in Baltimore and things, but everybody knows about the physical, the traits that he has, the speed and that type of stuff, which is unusual. So I get that, but I think they all have something to prove. How they're going to be in this system, we're going to find out. Some quarterbacks flourish in certain systems, and I believe all 3 guys will have a chance to be successful. I hope that's the case, and where it's going to be, hopefully that decision is going to be tough on a good note. Not that this guy wins it by default, but I believe, that we're going to have, a good competition at it. It'll be all guys are getting reps. You saw today how that, 2 drills going at once. It might be hard to follow, but the reps are so much different, set up this way. And like I mentioned, yesterday you had where the third group may only get through a practice, would have only gotten seven reps if I would have kept the same way of doing things, and now they're getting 30 reps. So it's a big difference.
Hey, Rex, some would say you might have a little man crush on Taylor. You tried to get him with the Jets, you got him here.
Well, let's see how he does in training camp before we go there. And we'll see. But I think the ability's hard to ignore. Some of the things that he has. But I might say somebody else, but then I'll get in trouble.
Rex, you said it like it could be hard to follow from our standpoint, just watching it. Obviously, you guys are going to look at the tape and such afterward. But how is it to evaluate when you got these things going on simultaneously? How do you divide your time watching these QBs?
Well, it's tough. How many guys did I pick out that really look good today? It's like, you're flying around like this. And sometimes you're trying to get a coaching thing and you miss 2 plays. So it's like that's the disadvantage of it on the field thing. But then you get all the film work to really look at and to talk about, with your guys. So I much rather have it that way than just, all eyes on the one group. And it's so slowed down. And I get it. Sometimes there may be a need for it, through injury, lack of players. Obviously in a regular season you only have 53 players, but right now, for us to get a legitimate shot, I kind of like the way we're doing it.
Cyrus Paul, the right tackle, first team, is that something where just rotating guys, or is he perhaps further along in Chantrell, the second team?
Well, right now he's getting a ton of reps, but there's going to be competition there. There's no question about that. And he's looked good. He's had a good off season, and so we'll see what happens when the pads come on.
Having Chantrell at left tackle in the second team, is that perhaps a sign that maybe Cordy's job at left tackle is up for grabs, or you have the starting right tackle last year?
No, I think we're just rotating guys through. Left, they've been switching, left, right, even with Quanjo, even with, all three of those tackles, we've been switching them.
What concerns you? I think you expressed some concerns yesterday about Chris Williams not being here, not even having met him, I believe.
Well, no, I haven't met Chris. This is voluntary, though, so, guys don't have to be here. And I'm confident. I'm sure he's doing whatever he can to physically be ready to go and things like that. But I've never met Chris, and I'd like him here, but I recognize that this is voluntary.
On Marcus Goodwin with the travel issues?
Well, unfortunately, we know the weather out in Texas, and man, oh man, that's. I saw the pictures today in the paper. I was like, wow, it's hard to fathom, being out here. Hey, it's nice out and all that, but man, oh man, what they're dealing with is something. But so he's been detained. We'll see how long that goes for. I know he's trying to get here, but obviously there's much more pressing needs than him being here at a voluntary camp.
First time we've had a chance to talk to you since Marcell Dareus got the one-game suspension. Your thoughts on missing him for that one game and just your reaction to that?
Well, hopefully this is something that that Marcell and that our team can learn from. That there's consequences to to your actions and things like that, and hopefully this is a one-time deal and we don't have to mess with it again. And he's learned from it. Clearly he'll be missed as a player, but we have a lot of good football players. And somebody will step up. I'm confident of that. We have a lot of guys with Bryant, with Carrington, specifically, and Wynn. I feel really good about those guys. Charles. This will be an opportunity for them to step up. You generally don't go through a whole season without having somebody missing some time. So this will give opportunities for somebody else. Will we miss Marcell Dareus? Yeah. Of course.
Do you feel like this is a chapter in his career that he can finally put behind him now after he serves this one game and put that chapter of his career behind him?
Yeah, hopefully this is, that's it. That, this is a one-time deal and he's learned from it. People make mistakes. The league's got it set up to where, there's punishments, to things that you do. And, obviously, I support that, the leagues and the way they are, but hopefully this is something that is in his past. I hope it's something that's out of character for him.
Does it give you any reservation at all about handing him what's probably going to be a very big contract coming up?
I think that's probably a down-the-road thing, but I just see the way Marcell is. I think he's a guy that, he loves playing football. And he's great in meetings and things like that. So that's what I've noticed. Whether, things like this happen and things, and like I say, hopefully it's just it's a one-time deal.
Watching him from afar, on the opposite sideline, what were your impressions? What have your impressions been of Marcell from afar and now?
Well, this whole conference, there's some really special players, especially just in our own, conference. You got, there's some guys that can, our own league's got plenty of great players. The difference with him is he's 20 pounds heavier than those guys. Like, this is a giant of a man that has unusual athleticism and, as good as there is in the league probably, or close to it.
He said on the radio this morning that Corey Graham is basically moving to safety. Is that something where he's going to split time between corner and safety, or all full-time safety?
We've worked him a lot at corner. We're confident that he can jump right back, in there. He's going to need a lot of reps at safety. So that's where he's going to be getting the majority of his work. I'm not saying he won't go to corner because I'm sure he'll play some there, but we really want him to focus on safety right now. And then, could he see time at nickel as well? He may. But I really want him to focus on safety, lead him into that where he's confident going into training camp where he can do all those things, corner, nickel, and safety.
Is there more a thing, Rex, where you just want a veteran guy? I mean, because Duke is not a veteran guy stepping in there. Neither is Rambo. You want a guy who's got some NFL experience to play, at least try to play that position?
Well, I just want to give him a shot at, you want to get your best 11 on the field. And this provides, him an opportunity if you feel good at, with Leotis and also feel great with Corey being a corner as well. But he's got that unique ability where he can do both things. And so let's see what we have out there. And this is no, slam on Duke or on Rambo or on Meeks or, any of those guys. But this is us doing, what's best for the team. And if that means Corey, we feel good about him playing safety, then that's where he'll be.
Rex, going back to Goodwin, you talked a little bit about the storms and how ravaged, that part of the country is. I mean, have you gotten a sense from him that he's okay and his property is okay and all that?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him, personally, but I know he's been in contact with our guys. So, the main thing is obviously to make sure to take care of, home first, and then, get back when everything's taken care of. But hopefully, everything is okay, but I'm not sure.
How important is a running quarterback in your system? And where are you in general on running quarterbacks, especially since a couple of guys, RG3 and Kaepernick, their careers haven't evolved the way people expected?
Well, I just think that sometimes when you have the threat of a guy that can run, it's harder to defend, when guys have mobility. Now, not saying that, if you got a Tom Brady who's not going to bust a 5'5", probably in the 40, but that's Tom Brady. I'd much rather go against the guy that can run. But it does provide a certain type of dynamic that you have to be aware of as a play caller on defense. The cover 5 or this 2-man is a thing that you don't necessarily want to play. It's a great coverage, but you might not want to play it against a running quarterback. All your backs are turned, and watch out. So those are things that you got to be aware of. With all the zone reads and all that stuff, we haven't done any of that right now. Obviously, that's something where a running quarterback that comes into play as well.
Back on the O-line, Daryl Johnson got some reps. First unit, looked like right tackle. A lot of people are unfamiliar with him. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
I'm not familiar with him. No, he's but he looks pretty decent out there. And again, we're bouncing guys around and things like that. But he's a big man, powerful guy. I look out there and you see him and you see Richardson and Henderson. I'm like, my goodness, I'm glad I'm not playing anymore. But it's, that's the thing that jumps out at you. I know he's done a nice job in the classroom as well, so guys are excited about him.
Rex, you discussed both Castle and Tyrod. How did EJ look today?
EJ, it had his moments. I thought he looked good in some of the type of things. As the rain came, obviously the field's a little slick. I, had the one interception, but that was, the receiver fell down, the corner played well. So, those are things that you got to learn as well in this as a receiver. You got to make sure that you got your feet underneath you and things like that when you're breaking. But what I saw, I thought he looked okay, but when you see the film, that'll be a truer evaluation of him.